Hello everyone and welcome back once again to DCS at long last, one of my personal favorite games, which doesn't explain why I haven't done videos on it. Anyway, we are today going to be doing a quick startup of, and you might have already seen it and guessed it, the Grumman, I think it's Grumman, F-14 Tomcat. God, I hope this was made by Grumman. I'm going to feel like an idiot if it wasn't. Like, oh no, obviously it was made by McDonnell Douglas. I know it wasn't McDonnell Douglas. I'm pretty sure it's Grumman. I don't know. Whatever. Just roast. You guys will roast me if I'm wrong. But anyway, we have an F-14 Bravo model. Oh, there goes my desktop. And we're going to be doing a quick startup today. We're going to be taking a look at just what it takes to get the aircraft off of the ground. Start it up, taxi, take off. We're not looking at weapons deployment or anything like that today. We're just going to do like I said, a quick startup guide. So let's hop back into the cockpit. Beautifully modeled airplane. Beautifully modeled cockpit. I mean, everything's got a nice, hearty click sound to it. Just sounds great. Anyway, the startup. We're going to go ahead and pull up our ground crew, and we're going to tell them to turn on our ground air supply.
Ground air supply.
Like so.
Copy.
Okay.
Ground air supply is now connected.
And you can hear we're now got air moving through the airplane. You can hear it whooshing there. I'm going to come down to our left-hand panel, and I've got this engine crank option here. I'm going to go ahead and crank the left engine. Our Rio will chime in the back. Rio?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, he sounds depressed. He said, okay. And then he usually chimes in and says your ejection seat's not armed, which I know it's not. Why would I have armed it by now? So, we've got rotation. In our number one engine, you can see the fan blade spinning there compared to engine number 2, which is static. And that is indicated down here, our engine RPM. It's just barely showing up there. So once we've got, what is that? 1, 2, 3, about 4,000 revolutions per minute. We can go ahead and introduce fuel simply by clicking our fuel cutoff. It's also our throttle. And you'll see our RPMs will start to rise. Eventually we'll get turbine interstage temperature, or TIT, rising. And I'm guessing this is our N1 RPMs. I can't read it, and I don't have track IR, and I can't glance around the... Okay, so we're just gonna just assume we're good there. And then while I was talking, you might have heard this rocker switch automatically kicked itself back into the central position. I'm going to keep watching our engine here. So you saw our turbine interstage temperature dropped back down. That means we've got a nice successful light off. We're sitting nice and happy right around 70%. So we're going to go ahead and do the same thing on engine 2. While we're cranking engine 2, I'm going to get some air moving around the airplane here. I'm going to go ahead and select left engine for our air source. It's a hot day in Nevada, so we're going to leave our temp down. I'm also going to turn on some external lights. And then I need to hit my master light on, which you can bind that to whatever you would like. So now we've got some external lights on the airplane as well. Alright, so engine 2 should be nice and spooled, which it is. We're going to go ahead and introduce fuel. Again, we're going to keep an eye on our interstage temperature. You can see our N1's now rising. Fuel's now introduced. Keep below here for our light off, which looks like we're well below. Rocker switch kicks back to its central position. Waiting for that turbine temperature to drop. See, hydraulic pressure's now up on engine 2. And she's now spooled. Alright, let's get some power to our essential systems here. So these are our augmentation. I believe it's a very, very early version of fly-by-wire. I could be wrong. It's kind of like SAS and the A10, if I'm not mistaken, just a very early version of it. So you want those 3 on. Of course, autopilot I'm not worried about right now, but if you were to do your autopilot, that is down here. I think it's vector, which is similar to your angle of attack. Altitude heading, and then your actual magnetic compass heading. But so for the time being, I set my power to my VDI, my HUD, and my HSD, so those are on now. Turn our pitch ladder down just a bit. So our ladder's still down, canopy's still open, wing sweep, which we'll take care of. I do not know what KDEC is. Well, we'll figure that out in a bit here. Bleed set to both engines. I guess we can put anti-ice and automatic. I mean, we definitely won't need it now, but it's fine. Alright, let's tell our ground crew to take the ground air supply away.
Chief, disconnect ground air supply.
While our canopy's open.
Copy. Ground air supply is now disconnected.
Okay, that's good there. I'm going to go ahead and arm our ejection seat, which for me is going to be left, shift, and E. But again, all of these bindings are something you can do of your choosing. Once I do that, our Rio in the back is going to close our canopy.
I'm closing the canopy.
There he goes. Alright, wing sweep. That's this little yellow lever here. We'll bring that all the way forward. Canopy's locked. Make sure our lever is down. Go back. Okay. We're indicating full in, so I'm going to go ahead and close our cover for the wing sweep. Still in manual mode. I'm going to go ahead and sweep the wings out. You can see them moving out there. Once we're at full sweep, or 20 degrees, I'm going to set them to automatic, which again, I have set to my own bindings. You guys can set them to whatever you would like. Wing sweep is now in auto, as compared to previously it was in manual mode. So, automatic. Alright, last final checks here. We want to make sure our hydraulic isolation is in takeoff landing, which it is if the gear's down, so you're good there. I'm going to put the park brake in. We'll turn on our taxi light. And that should be about it, if I'm not mistaken. Turn our radios on. And power out here. And brake check. Brakes are good. Alright, enabling nose wheel steering, which I have bound to N. And you'll see a NWS engage as I toggle that on and off on the left-hand side. You hear the Rio clicking controls there in the back. Do a quick flight controls check. And rudder. Swear it hard. Taxiing the F-14, as you would expect from any carrier aircraft, is very easy. It's got a very nice nose wheel steering angle, given you have to be, doing the speed that it wants to do. Can't just go binning it in there. Alright. Keep on taxiing here. So now would be the time, if you had, like if you were doing a scramble and you needed to, immediately get your air-to-air weapons up, prep your sidewinders, turn on sidewinder, prep missiles, doesn't have to be sidewinders. Turn on missile prep, turn on the cooling for your sidewinders if you're going to get into some close, BFM type situations, and set your gun rate to high. Got your master arm rocker switch here, air combat maneuvering. Master switch, which you saw turned everything, set the whole aircraft up for an ACM situation. As soon as I open that up, everything goes to ready mode, which is pretty cool. Go ahead and uncage our standby horizontal situation indicator, maybe. There we go. All wear out. set a warning radar altitude. Let's set it to about 250 feet. Hello, goodbye frame rate. Really quick there, it's weird. Check on the Rio back there, make sure he's good and comfy. There's actually a whole menu for the Rio, which we're not gonna, again, not gonna go into that today. But there's a whole list of commands you can have him do for you. You can also switch to the Rio seats. Now I'm obviously in the rear of the jet. I can operate all of the Rio stuff should I want to. If I had another real player flying the aircraft, I could just be a Rio. But I don't have another real player to fly with today, so it's going to just be me, which is fine. At least that's what I tell myself to sleep at night. Alrighty. Coming up on the active here. Now, normally we would cross that first runway and depart on the second runway, but for the sake of a slightly shorter video, we're going to go ahead and take off on this first runway here.
Infield 1-1, request takeoff.
And I'm sure as usual he's going to tell me I'm unable, or he's unable to clear me for takeoff. I do want to pick up track IR. I know you guys see me looking around doing a whole lot of this crap, and that there it is, unable to clear. Okay, engines back to idle. Line up here, wait for a takeoff clearance. We'll give them about 3 seconds to either give us the clearance or we're just going to take off without the clearance. I'm okay with that also. There it is. Alright. Cool. Brakes full in. Full on the wheel brakes. I'm going to run up the engine just a bit. Alright, and up to full mill. Brakes are off. Engine stabilized at full mill. I'm going to go up and over the afterburner gate. Burners are on. You can hear that big roar. There goes our radar altimeter telling us, hey man, you're too low, which obviously. And we're going to start pulling back on the stick here. Just like that, we're airborne. Airspeed's screaming. Go ahead and do a big pullback on the stick here, see if we can get some vapor over the wings. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Just a little bit. And that's that. That's takeoff in the F-14. I don't have much else to add. We'll maybe look at some other stuff with the module later. As always, guys, I will catch you in the next one. Thank you for watching, and take it easy.